Alright, there you go. Okay, my bad. I got a little hyped up on that. Okay. Now we're gonna go. Give me a second. I gotta turn this back on. Alright, now we're going to go back to the Great Ace Attorney, the Adventure of the Runaway Room, also known as the Omnibus. Start playing from the save data? Yes. Why? Because... yes. Because yes. Alright, so where we last left off, we arrived in Britain Land, London, England. And now we found in order to actually become a lawyer in the UK or in England. Hello, I'm in bed. Okay. In order to become a lawyer, we must take Maelstrom's test, which is to defend the client, Magnus McGilded, who's not very liked in some circles. And at some point we progress through some part of the trial to a point where we have to do a rebuttal, where there's some weird little guilty thing going on. So I've reached a point in a summation examination in which this type of trial, unlike any of the previous trials I've ever seen in any of the Phoenix Wright games, has a jury system. And the jury system, all at once, voted guilty. So now I have to do the summation examination. Okay, so according to what I remember last time, I somehow have to pit these jurists against one another with whatever contradictory statements they have. But trust the driver, he has an excellent memory, has seen 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence. He stuck the chap next to him like this, brazen, I must say, absolutely brazen. I simply typed and created. I could read in the voices, but I'd just rather read now because I'm just a little bit tired. I trust the guild for fares and motto. We haven't raised prices of 4 pence for years. The scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor. It beggars relief. Okay. Here's an easy one. Jury number 3 and jury number 6. Those are the easy ones. So, I'm gonna pick you against...
Objection!
You! These two statements are completely contradictory.
What? Explain, counsel, post haste. Oh dearie me, I was only needing a jumper for my other half.
What is all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, I ask you? We've heard from more than one witness. So the reason why I pitted those two against each other, the guy with the top hat said that the accused stabbed him horizontally, but the old lady is saying the accused stabbed him vertically. So those are two contradictory things that don't really work. That they allegedly saw the actual moment the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3.
What?
Can you see I'm busy here? Are you changing your stance to make it look vertical? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it? Alright, let's get back in our voice.
Ha! You want to test me, do you?
It was like this! Stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. Just like the prim banker said.
Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony. Quite true.
Now then, juror number 6.
Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do for you, young man?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam?
Oh, well, dearie, as far as I understand it, it was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. The coachman says so.
Now, don't move! Take a look at these two jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up, and he stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor.
Never. They'll not stopping in totally different directions.
I forgot the voice from last time.
What?
Bless my stitches! What a muddle!
What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of these witnesses isn't telling the truth.
Oh?
But why? Why the dickens would they lie? I don't know that yet, but what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience?
Lies, you say? Oh, dear me. I can't abide people telling lies.
Go to bed. No. Not until 10. So she changed her vote to not guilty.
Scales!
The scales. I don't believe it.
I don't believe it. Wait! Now here there, smart fellas. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him, in his black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on us all.
If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this?
Answer me this, Doc Jinx.
I feel like I'm gonna have to really convince him at this point. Alright. Huh? Me?
What exactly is the problem? What if the two witnesses have slightly different recollection of the events?
What of it?
Let's say the Shylock did stab the victim as he sat next to him on the omnibus. And this young dandy saw him do it.
He's probably like,
What are you calling dandy? And others say the victim collapsed on the floor. And then the Shylock stabbed him again. And this old lady saw him do it. Well, what's to say it didn't happen like that,
who are you calling dandy, sir? Why I should take this knife to you?
What you calling Dan? Old? Why I should take this needle to you?
They're ready to kill each other now. What could the foreman of the jury be, right? Did the two witnesses see two different movements of the same crime? I don't know. Okay, let's stop and think about this for a second. It is possible. Wait. Internal hemorrhaging as a result of a single stab wound to the abdomen. So no! That's not possible! Because it was a single stab wound to the abdomen. It's out of the question. Because the post-mortem report says it was one single stab wound. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreign.
Where's it, you Doc Jinx? Come on, over there.
Now you slam the desk with one hand! Where you're suggesting is possible, it's out of the question.
What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize I'm only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. Yeah, see? So where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I said the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. You say that's out of the question. Show me proof.
Looks like the only way I'm going to convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable hard evidence. As you wish.
What?
I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that the two witnesses saw the different moments of the same crime, as proven by the autopsy report. Here! This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen only once.
Only once?
It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen two different times.
Here?
I concede defeat.
What? That's how it works? Well done, Mr. Naruto. You did it! If we can manage to change two more jurors' minds, we can force the trial to continue. 2 more. Actually, there's something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions. Then that's where you must strike next. So I need to pit 2 more jurors against each other and then show there's a contradiction in their assertions. Exactly! You can do it!
Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the sides of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with the summation examination.
Alright, now I got the boy back. No lover of the rich, but his spies large even more. Innocent is my call, for now at least. Okay, so I somehow convinced 2 out of 6. Somehow! Somehow! At least they admit they don't like the rich. That's fine. Okay. So I got 3 and 6 down. Okay. So you're not gonna say Jeremy.
Jeremy, you can't make that suggestion.
Okay, so we have 4 jurors left. I don't know which jurors are gonna pit against each other. It does say I can press them. So hold it! Just like an actual testimony, I can press them. But I still have to pit them against each other. What have you been doing all this time?
What have you been doing all this time? There. I should have thought it was obvious. I'm recording everything that takes place as a part of these proceedings.
Except your own voice. And what have you learned from that?
For example, at this very moment in time, the judge has used his gavel 11 times in total. The prosecution has snorted derivatively of your remarks 7 times total. And I might add, each time you coughed like a simpleton.
Thank you. And what's the point exactly? You noted everything. So anyway, madame, are you able to explain why you think the defendant is guilty? I still need your reason, because you saying you noted everything could mean anything.
That is just the conclusion I've drawn as a result of the copious notes I have typed.
Clearly, but I'm asking you to explain why you've drawn that conclusion.
Please don't distract me. It makes it extremely hard to concentrate on my note-keeping.
This is going nowhere. Okay, so you know what? I'm not gonna get anything out of her. Lover of the rich. I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory. It seems 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence. Wait, what? 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence. 4 passengers. Okay, you know, I don't know what pence is. Could be Mike Pence. Let's just say it's a value. $20. 4 passengers, $20. It could be. Who gives a... Fine. 4 passengers, $20. You don't say anything.
You can trust the guild. Fair share is the motto. You haven't raised prices above 4 pence for years.
I feel like 5 and 2 are against each other. Because they both have... Their summaries have something to do with money. So, the coach is saying that, they haven't raised the price over 4 pence, $4, I assume, for each person. I'm gonna save it again, because, okay. But, that's the thing. like... Okay, but here's the thing. There are 4 passengers. And she's saying, with everybody paying $20. But the coach says that it's 4 pence. So, if it was 4 passengers times 4, it would have been 16 pence. So where did the other 4 pence come from? You! These two statements clearly contradict each other. You? Explain yourself, counsel.
Me? Oh dear, what have I said?
I swear on Blair's name, man. I have the first idea what you're talking about.
According to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus on the night in question. And according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pences in fares.
What? I have the precise details typed neatly here in front of me.
Hey, why is that? Hang on. And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence.
That it is, a fair and convenient single price. Just the way London's carriages should be operated.
But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts.
Why, man, why?
Because 4 passengers paying 4 pence each. If you do the multiplication, it would be 16 pence. Now you get it. Exactly, as I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely 1 person's fare. So 1 person boarded the omnibus, but he wasn't recorded.
1 person's fare?
Yes! In other words, on the omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible there was another passenger we've heard nothing about!
Good gracious!
This can't be right. The coachman and the guild are good, honest men. One and all, trustworthiness is our watchword.
The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. To what you are, good sir, is a fallacy.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets nefarious characters ride his omnibus.
Alright then, how do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end, huh?
Well, according to my book here, you simply launch a ball of fire into the innocent side of all the set of scales.
Now hold your horse in there, coachman. We're all in agreement. Why do you have to go in? Wait until I get my hands on you, Beppo! This is very irritating.
Begging your pardon, sir. I'm going to do the same.
For the love of Mike, not you as well.
A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exact standards in financial matters. Yes, I say this while feeling dead inside. You can see my...
Oh, really?
I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again. Wait, that means... 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty.
We've done it, Mr. Naruto.
We've...
Won!
No...
What are you playing at, you dandy roll?
Shut your trap, sir. No one deceives me.
But we got a consensus.
I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. And if a chap ever does dare cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head, while licking my blade at the same time. Please tell me he's a barber.
Well, in a quite remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there's no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to adjudicate, and the trial must continue.
Really?
I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and the witnesses to return to their places. And I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth.
So I somehow turned things around.
So, Lord Van Zeeks, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please.
Vampire Edgeworth!
I drink bloody wine. You want some?
Is he?
Having savored the rich aroma of the calming contents of this hallowed chalice, it may seem crass to crush it to dust, but forgive the discourtesy. How else am I going to show my emotions?
Lord Van Zeeks!
Brr, is it cold in here, or is it just me? How is it cold in there when you're sweating? Unless it's a cold sweat, never mind.
As your antiquated tome no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during a summation examination. So I honor the deathly sentence and listen to the charade. It seems I overestimate the intelligence of the jury. Well, no matter. There's nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth, it would seem. No, and why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. Behold! Bring forth the witnesses once more.
We actually have to hear from these guys?
Witnesses! I trust you heard the summation examination we have just had to endure.
Oh, yes, sir. That I did, sir.
Of course I heard it.
Oh, yes, sir. I heard it.
You, sir, on the end, the coachman, I believe it's Baboon.
Yes, sir. My lord, sir.
If it transpires that in your previous testimony, you were attempting to veil the presence of a 5th passenger on your omnibus, you'll be found guilty of perjury. You're advised to bear that in mind, sir.
Oh, mio Dio.
That's a weird Spanish prayer if I've ever heard. I've heard Mios Dios, my...
Now the witnesses, I hereby call you on to testify before the court again. You explained the various misgivings brought to our attention by the defense's summation examination.
So now we get to keep going. Witness testimony. You should say witnesses.
I only carried 4 passengers that night. I swear. But,
What?
Well, I for one was told I had to pay 5 pence for this.
Really?
he fiddled us on the fare, he did. And then I saw the blood curdling in his side as well. It's all too much.
I tell you, I saw McGillis stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands. Including the 5 pence, see?
Oh, yes, he stabbed it. Yes, he did. I think so, yes.
You think so? Okay.
Counsel, make sense of this for me, please. I don't know what to make of it.
The phantom 5th passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed. Also, I have a migraine. The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little cousinage. Beppo, explain yourself!
I'm terribly sorry, Guildmaster.
Oh man, that's weird eyes.
The guild's fare is 4 pence across the board. You know that. Am I to understand that you've been overcharging your passengers by a penny a fare?
It's cold. The last one of the day is always half empty. You have been dishonest, coachman. I'm sorry.
You're a disgrace, Beppo. A disgrace! And your selfish actions have brought dishonor on the entire guild.
If I may, sir, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week.
What?
For passengers at 5 pence each is, yes, 20 pence. I've done the arithmetic 10 times already, but I can't just make the result come out differently. No, that figures.
Well, it would appear that one of the aforementioned misgiving has already been explained. So, counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, if you please.
We've already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination today. I see you intend to continue the parlor games?
Like jumping around and climbing on things? No, I already did that today. Offline, so Absolutely. I say this nervously with my eyes going around everywhere. Cross-examination. Various misgiving. Okay, so the prosecution is saying the passengers were overcharged. Is there a way to prove that wrong? There was a 5th passenger.
I only carried 4 passengers that night. I swear. But, I'm waiting for someone else's excuse there.
I'm gonna press that first statement because I feel like something's up. I don't see anything in the entire testimony to contradict, so I'm just gonna go, hold it! So there were only 4 passengers on your carriage, and you didn't charge them a standard 4 pence fare. Is that right?
It's impossible to make it left for the day, but pay! I was cold, and that was all I could do to stop myself passing out.
Get it? I'm getting chilblains just listening to you. Chilblains? Wait, what?
It was terrible, so I wanted to give myself a pat in the back for keeping the bet spinning.
How is it still cold?
Doesn't a dedicated coachman deserve an extra penny per passenger?
You're digging a deeper hole for yourself here. If only there had been a 5th passenger on the omnibus that night. Then we would have had another suspect.
Well, I for one was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus.
Hold it! And who told you that? Does that mean everyone on board that night paid 5 pence instead of 4?
Well, I paid 5 pence, sir.
And I just told you that I did.
A flat fare of 5 pence across the board. Board.
It's not something to be proud of. The so-called discrepancy my learned... shit.
The so-called discrepancy my learned friend identified was nothing of the sort. Much like the phantom killer you so desperately needed, it's gone, dead and buried.
I'd have been happy if it had ever existed in the first place.
He fiddled us on the fare. He did. And then I saw the blood curdling side as well. It's too much.
Hold it! What do you mean by that? This blood-curdling sight, you mean the murder, I presume?
Yes, sir.
A loathsome sight. No one should have witnessed the horror in the eyes of a man the moment his life is taken.
Oh, well, not exactly, sir. I mean, I didn't exactly see the moment the gent was stabbed.
What?
Good gracious, really?
Then why are you here? Why are you...
We have another witness who did, however. The bank is...
I gotta refill my water. And I gotta use the washroom. So, be back. Alright, back. Oh, dang, I dropped the milk on him. Alright, give it a second. Okay. So I'm able to go to bed. But I'm having my melatonin at 9. So that way it'll kick in by 10. Hopefully, by the time I get so tired, I'm having like 20 grams of melatonin. Oh god. Okay. Now. Here we go. Okay. Turn this back on. Okay.
We have another witness to date about the... Okay. But Mr. Furston actually see the point at which the victim was killed.
Oh, wait, no, wrong way. Mr. Furston actually see the point at which the victim was killed. That may turn out to be very significant. I heard the banker Jen next to me take a sharp intake of breath. See, that's when I looked through the glass. That's when I saw the horrible blade poking out of his belly, covered in blood. Every time I see a knife now, I can help screaming, even when I'm eating. Yeah, you just have a mouthful of food. You're like, just scream with your mouth full. I tell you, I saw the McGill stab that man. Everything I said before stands. Stabbing the man. Really? Even though he was stabbed once? Okay. Hold it! So you saw the defendant, Mr. McGill, stabbing the victim, Mr. Mason, who was sitting next to him? That's what I said, isn't it? It was bothering me before this was. For just a brief moment, he hesitated before answering the question. Anyway, there was only 2 of them inside the carriage, wasn't there?
There's been much talk of a 5th passenger, but as of yet, 0 evidence.
Then what are we wasting the time for, eh? It's black and white. The man's guilty.
Something about Mr. Fairplay's testimony just jars with me. I wish I could work out what it was.
Oh, yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so. Yes.
Hold it! Earlier you testified that you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you?
Oh, yes, that's right.
You said the victim was on the floor, and described the assailant holding a knife in an ice-pick grip.
I suppose. I might have, yes, put the cart before the horse, maybe.
What's this?
Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horse when I heard a scream from the seats of the roof deck.
Oh, that was me, sir.
Then I turned around, yes, I saw it through the skylight. John was on the floor. The knife was sticking out on his midriff. That's right, yes. And the fellow holding the handle was a famous man, yes.
So, in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all.
I really thought that I did, but when I go over it again in my head, no, I suppose I didn't actually see the precise moment of the stabbing, did I?
Truth!
Hang on! Excuse me! So you're saying? Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay?
Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking! He didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? Eh?
Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. I might be able to extract some information from him if I answered him cleverly. Okay. I don't know what to say next. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed? stab wound to the abdomen. Roof deck that night. The E-seater that was seeing the bus or passengers both inside the carriage and on the roof deck that night. Okay, okay, borrowed money. I gotta think for a second. Is it possible that he was able to see it? Like, let's stop and think about this. The other two passengers didn't see it. Even they admitted shortly afterwards. This guy is certain. So, does two people being wrong somehow say this person is also wrong? Why would he... I don't know what to answer. No chance. Some days are like that. But if I am gonna say no chance, I gotta provide evidence. Because there's gotta be something about this. So we go inside because he was sitting right on top. Oh, let's open the door and go inside. The scene of the murder is horrible. Okay, this is where he was found. Despite the skylight, it's quite large enough to have a good view into the cabin. And there doesn't appear to be a handout or catch of any description. I suppose you can't be open from the inside the cabin at least. There's gotta be something off about this. There's a handle. You can certainly see the inside of the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, and there's a lamp in the closed section, so I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly. That's not good for us. There's gotta be something. There is a handle, so it can be opened. This is the roof deck on the omnibus. Oh, you must have a wonderful view. There's gotta be something off about this. Because I see a handle there, it's not getting close enough. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. Okay, there's gotta be something off. I'm gonna take a lucky guess and say... no chance. Well, it is a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spend your time peeping through the skylight on the top of the omnibus, that is.
Peeping? I'm a respectable city banker. I'll have you know. And I know what I saw. I clearly remember it as Balorte. It was a grim scene, I don't mind telling you.
Thank you. It's a fair play.
Oh, it's really a little hotter in the color, my lord.
I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clue to me about exactly what you saw.
Oh, I can't do that, all right? I'll tell you how grim it was. You think I'd forget the sight of the blood-soaked hands after the butcher stabbed the man? Blood-soaked hands after the butcher stabbed the man.
Interesting you'd say that, because his hands were not soaked in blood. His gloves were soaked in blood. So... OBJECTION! At least one glove. Blood-soaked hands.
Well, I admit that soaked might be laying a little bit thick, but... But anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it.
No, only one. I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Favorite Play, but that's a little more than a little peculiar.
What?
Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGill, did on the night in question.
Oh, yes. Right.
On the right hand. There certainly does appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain there, but, as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only on the right-hand glove.
I feel like I could play my cane like a trombone. I can't smoke this cane, dang it.
In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony's inconsistent.
Gah! But, that can't be right.
So you're the liar then?
Gah! Ah, smoke this cane. Ah, that's some good dang shit.
That's right. You're quite clear about it. You said here, it was both hands. Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, we call your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth?
There's some dang good shit.
Objection!
It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it was in both hands. It was only one. But the fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accused.
Objection!
I don't think I can pull a frickin' if it doesn't fit, you must quit excuse here. No, Mr. Fairplay categorically stated he saw blood all over both hands. Which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court.
Why? I'm a city banker, for pity's sake. My word should be the gold standard. I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snipe. Upstanding member of society. Don't prevaricate.
He's claiming to have no reason to lie. But is that really the case? So he's kinda not... Ugh. Hold on a second. Maybe Fairplay is telling the truth? There's blood on both hands, but the witness is not lying. We have some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying. To return the time of this trial completely. Something to show this man has compelling reason to lie in his testimony. There is no evidence. There is evidence. I need a second to look. What if I look at this? This portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets of the London's gentry. What if his name, what if Fairplay's name is in the ledger? Oh, it's not as though we know any of London's gentry personally, is it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps. Actually, I wonder. I'm sure you will not find Mr. Sherlum's name inside. That's not the name I'm looking for. Well, let's see what we find. Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it? Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off. Ah, goodness! What is it? Look at this! You see the name here? Bruce Fairplay. His name is in the ledger! Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar, actually. Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying at the very moment. Ah, yes, of course, the banker. Why is his name in here? Ah, he borrowed 20 guineas, did he? And look, the repayment date is fast approaching. It's possible that this is just a coincidence, of course. But this could be very useful information. So, Fairplay's name is in the ledger. That's why he had a reason to lie. To get back at McGilded! Because he doesn't want to repay his debts. I have evidence. My lord?
Yes, counsel?
The defense is ready to present evidence.
By Jove, are you sure?
Yep. Yes, the evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had a reason to lie in his testimony.
Even those shit is legal.
Very well. I hereby call on the defense to present its evidence. The evidence that demonstrates a motive for the witness's alleged deception of the court.
Debtors, the defense list that Bruce Fairplay has been due to repay his loan imminently. Here!
Get that!
This is the list of debtors who owe money to Mr. McGilden.
Yes, a list of innocent victims crippled by the accused's extortion.
The point is, among the names of the debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay.
What? Mr. Fairplay, you're currently indebted financially to the accused?
No, well, it's barely worth it being called a debt.
According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas. Not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say?
Well, whatever.
Let's suppose Mr. Gillen were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case?
These documents state that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. They would they would cease to exist.
Cease to exist? Mr. Fairplay, you're not playing fair. It is not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have something you never, in fact, saw, in a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant!
Gah! Gah!
Order!
That's how we say it in British.
Mr. Bruce Fairplay,
Yes, my lord.
let me ask you again. And be aware that your answer may have the most serious implications upon your future, sir. Do you or do you not see the precise moment of the time at which the defendant is alleged to have thrust a knife into the victim?
Why are you chewing on your cane? Why? Your silence speaks volumes! You did not tell the truth in your testimony.
Alright, let's not make a melodrama out of this. Perhaps I did, or set the truth a pinch.
A pinch?
But it makes no difference. It definitely might have seen blood on McGill's hands, both of them.
Objection!
And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained.
Grr, so you keep saying.
No, it's because it's actually there. It's not whether it's say or not, it's actually there. I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. First. Even though you're the last, but what the hell?
Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself as it happened. Seeing what? The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands. I think, yes. I'm sure that it was on both of his hands, not just one. What? What?!
It would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all you witnesses. This time, I'd like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear?
Smoke this pipe for me, please.
Mr. Nanahado, this is good news. The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last. Yes, indeed. I might finally have a chance to turn things around here. Alright. Witness testimony. What the witnesses really saw.
There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. Don't ask why. I suppose I must say I didn't see the exact point of the stabbing transpired, if that matters.
I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both of the attacker's hands with blood on them. I didn't see anything myself. No, not until I heard that scream.
Anyway, the fact remains, there can't have been anyone else inside the carriage, or else we'd all would have seen.
Well, lo and behold, in truth or fact, none of you was a witness to the crucial moment the crime was perpetrated.
I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside the carriage. And someone smoke this pipe for me, please. And the man's hands were covered in blood. That much incriminating evidence is turned on.
Do we saw the man do it.
Some more talk with this thing between.
That's not really what the testimony is about. Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more. The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witness's accounts. In other words, there is no substantial nor significant charge in the fact of the case.
Very well. Your cross-examination, please, counsel.
Yes, my lord.
Okay, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I gotta take a look at the envelopes again. Remember that. I gotta save that. I gotta get ready to go to bed. Maybe at 9:30 or quarter to 10. One or the other, whichever comes first. Quarter to 10. Yeah. Alright, 20 minutes left. Wait.
There was blood on hand.
Hold it! No, the evidence tells us otherwise. We have the gloves the defendant was wearing on the night in question in the court record.
I'm well aware of that, sir, but nevertheless, I know what I saw and I stand by it. The man had blood on both his hands. I say that with my eyes closed, see?
He defied even in the face of hard evidence. His steadfast refusing to admit that he might be mistaken about what he saw. But why?
Your reasoning is dire. One hand or two, the salient point remains unchanged. Minutes after the grand crime, the victim's blood dripped guiltily from the accused's fingers.
What?
However, I suppose I might say that I didn't see the exact moment of the stabbing transpire, if that matters.
Hold it! It kinda does matter. Don't try to downplay this. Whether or not you saw the exact moment of the crime, it's a matter of fundamental importance as well as you know.
But for crying out loud, we all know that no one else could have possibly done it. I was just trying to save us all some time.
No. You have a loan of 20 guineas outstanding with the defendant, do you not? And you hope to release yourself from the financial burden by ensuring the defendant was found guilty?
That's not entirely not what I was hoping for. I just lost a guinea 10 back at the wrong horse on the dairy, that's all. I'm going to win all back! The fixture in this weekend, that's just a sure thing.
A little guinea or 10?
I'm a banker, no one bets an eye. If I borrow a little spending money for the weekend.
I think you have revealed more about your character than you bargained for, sir.
This witness scruples are not on dang.
This witness's scruples are not on trial here. Proceed to the next witness.
Is that really how it's supposed to work? I remember seeing the knife. I remember seeing both the attacker's hands with blood on them. Attacker's hands, huh? What if I take a look at... You say you saw the knife. That part is a sheath, is it? Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, sorry, yes. I just don't really like blades. Oh. Yeah, you're holding one now! You're holding Kazuma's! Those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist. That's not a blade. That's Kazuma's soul. Anyway, there's no sense in delaying it. Let's see what the blade looks like. Interesting. I don't know what this M means. An ornate letter M. Undeniably Mr. Magnus McGilded's initial. It's beautifully gilded too. Must be very valuable, I should think. What is it? Look at this M. You turn it upside down and it becomes a W. This could change everything. A W. Yes, this is one of those, turnabout cases, I'm sure of it. I'm afraid I don't know it all, but what I'm sure of is this is an M. Oh, well, that idea was quickly quashed. I don't think we can change the M for a W, but we can look at the tip of the knife. It looks like a lot of blood. Surely it's blood, the victims. An Englishman's blood looks a lot like a Japanese man's blood. Everybody believes the same. Don't you think it would? Sorry, it's just that we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. I'm finding it a little hard to adjust. Yes, I do understand. Okay. There's blood on the tip of the blade. Blood. There's blood on the tip of the blade. So what? Is there anything else we can look at? No. Nope. I guess we can't look at anything else. It's just going to be valuable. Blood knife, blood from the victim's abdomen. I never ever seen both of them. There's blood on him. Okay. Seeing both of the attacker's hands with blood on them. Hold it! I'm gonna press for now. You definitely saw that too? Blood on both hands? Yes, sir. I mean, I know what you're going to say. Only one of Mr. Bigelou's gloves had a sign of blood on it.
That's right.
The first thing is, as far as I can remember, sir, when I looked down, I saw Mr. Bigelow sitting beside the other fellow. I don't believe he was wearing any gloves, sir. He wasn't wearing these gloves. Is this gonna be if it doesn't fit, you must acquit thing? That's correct, sir. And I saw blood on both his bare hands clearly. It's true that the dark-colored stain and the dark-colored gloves wouldn't have been easy to see.
I should point out that the police officer who apprehended the accused on the night in question reported that there was no trace of blood on Mr. McGill's gloved hands. Blood on Mr. McGill's gloved hands. There's blood on the hands.
This is a puzzling indeed.
This must be significant somehow, I'm sure of it.
I didn't actually saw anything myself, no, until I heard that scream.
Should I even press on the last one? Probably. Just to be sure, let's press. Hold it! You didn't see anything.
Oh, yes, sir. That is to say, I didn't. So, very sorry about this, sir. Very sorry, yes. It was very wrong of me to make up stories and saw seven of the men. Were you in a degree, sir?
I know you're insinuating, but I certainly wasn't making up stories. Still, to say you saw nothing isn't right either, is it?
No, sir. I saw nothing at all.
Mr. Beppo, you were driving your horses. At the very least, you must have enjoyed a good view of London streets, no? Oh, please, you didn't even see that.
It was cold that night, you see. It's all I could do is keep from passing out. Yes, my head was fairly frozen solid. Sorry to say, sir.
It would seem prudent to avoid travel on the last time of bus service of London's cold winter nights.
Beppo!
Means, could have been anyone else beside the carriage or all... There can't have been anyone else beside the carriage or all we would have seen. Okay. Okay, there's one or two things I gotta at least prove. Interesting how he says that. There were passengers both inside the carriage that night. Is there a possibility? Because I think there is. This is the only thing with a handle. The seat looks soft. Alright. Seat has a handle, it seems. You can... Looks like some sort of equipment. Imagine being too convenient. Easy! How's it easy? This seat can be opened up.
remains, it kind of mean... Hold it!
And everything you saw of the incident was through the skylight of the roof of the omnibus. Easy game. How is it an easy game?
That's right, it was fiercely cold that night, but the glass wasn't frosted over.
Oh yes, I was shivering. It was so bitter. Which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were sitting on the roof deck in the first place.
Well, I don't know much about this young fellow, but I couldn't enter the cabin.
Oh, why not?
It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door.
It was locked.
That's right! And it's a public bus service, for pity's sake, that's not what I call fair play. Not my name at all.
Yes, I had exactly the same experience. I tried knocking. The gent inside gestured at me to clear off. So I had no choice but to climb up to the roof deck and look down longingly into the warm cat and bed.
Well, okay, sure, I just wasn't looking down, I was glaring long and hard. And that's precisely why I can tell you the absolute confidence. And if there was anyone else in that cabin, I would have noticed!
Unequivocal, I would say. I'm not sure about these two witnesses. Could they really have seen everything inside the cabin through the skylight? This is the moment of truth. This is where I kinda gotta answer the question. They would have seen everything. They may not have been able to. If I choose this option, I have to prove that. They might not have been able to. How is that? Because you can certainly see the inside there. Yes, it's a lamp. I'm sure this will be able to see everything clear. That's not good for us. There's gotta be a way. Yep. The skylight. Okay, there's something off about this. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it? Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view. And there doesn't appear to be a handle or a catch of any description, so I suppose it can't be opened from the inside of the cabin, at least. So it can only be opened from the outside. They might not have been able to, because I think the skylight has a thing you can open and close. Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. You were riding this omnibus and witnessed the events of the cabin through the skylight on the floor of the upper deck. Is that right?
That's right, yes.
In that case, there is a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight for me.
What?
By golly, really? Obviously, at this stage, you can't say for sure. But the possibility cannot be denied. At that time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin on the omnibus.
Objection!
Even hypothetical meandering, my Nepalese friend. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. After all, the scene of the crime is here in the flesh!
I don't... Flesh is living. That's not.
Very well. I'll uphold the prosecution's demand. You identify the area on the cross-sectional plan of the omnibus? Where exactly in the omnibus are you suggesting that this potential extra passenger could have been situated?
Alright, save it a bunch of times. One more time, just to be safe. We're gonna end at 1:45. It would have to be here. Because if these guys were sitting here, looking at this, they wouldn't have been able to see this chair, so... Here! Both rows of seats on the roof face in the direction of travel. Whereas the seats in the enclosed cabin face each other. Which means... if visible part of the cabin, which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight, is as I've drawn here. That's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite the one on the victim and his attackers are saying, it is obscured from view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it. Ah!
Objection!
It's quite possible some phantom was sitting there.
You Nepalese have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity.
I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. In a British court of law, evidence is paramount. I cannot entertain this conjecture, counsel. That is, unless you're able to put a name to this mysterious passenger to whom you allude.
Okay, who is the fifth passenger? Because the whole case settles on the idea that McGilded and Mason were the only ones in the lower cabin. So, but to prove somebody else was there is to prove that other person was the killer. Can I put a name? Can you, Mr. Naraharu? I don't think it was you. You were there, but I'm obviously defending you. You were there. You weren't even there. You weren't there at all. Well, you were there on the top of the roof deck. You were also on the roof deck. So no, I cannot. I honestly don't know. Who could it have been? Who could have been in the other seat, which was out of sight from the witnesses on the roof deck? I have no idea. I have literally no idea. But as a proud citizen of the Japanese Empire, you will look to the sky and walk on, making sure all the signs of tears are gone. Go on. This isn't just a case of going on, Mr. Sato. Alright then, I'll go on. So I'm actually supposed to... The defense would like to put forward a name. I don't know. I honestly don't know. You are a fool. That response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitation. A toast to hard lessons not yet learned. I don't know what it is. I don't know who it is.
Let us not delay, counsel. The defense is still the name of the passenger on the other seat.
I don't know who it is. This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial in my favor. On that night, on the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus that was obscured from view was... I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Who was there? Okay, process of elimination. Susato was not there, Maelstrom was not there, Baron von Zeeks was not there, McGilded was there, but I'm not choosing him. Unless I could. So I only have 5 people to choose from. I only have 5 chances. Beppo was the driver. He could not have been the passenger, so that just leaves 4 people. Fairplay, he was on the roof. Lady first, so these 2 were here. The person occupying the seats in the omnibus, that was obscured from view. City banker witnessed the incident from a seat on the roof. Princess witnesses the incident from the seat on the roof. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. How about I leave this till tomorrow, and I can come back another time? Considering the fact that it is 1:45, I would love to answer that question, but I don't know the answer, because I have not thought about this thoroughly enough. Take a guess. Scream. You said you saw... Okay, let's stop and think about this for a second. You said you saw the blood. Witnessed the incident from his seat on the roof deck of the omnibus. And Apprentice Miller witnessed the incident from his seat on the roof deck of the omnibus. Skill of a poor brickmaker apparently owed the defendant a considerable... He's incredibly wealthy. I'm just gonna say you for now because let's see what happens. Yes, concealed in the blind spot of the cabin that night. With no other than this unexpected passenger. Whatever so-called logic you use to arrive at that conclusion, it matters not. Because your answer has been made one thing abundantly clear. I was wrong. The real blind spot is inside your head, and it would appear to be unusually large. I don't know who it is! You could have just said that's not right. Mr. Nanahando, our task here is to defend Mr. McGilded. And we are working on the assumption that he is innocent of this crime. Yes, of course. Why? That must mean that there was someone else inside the omnibus with Mr. McGilded, the true culprit. That's right, exactly. Oh, of course, so the two people sitting inside the cabin that witnesses saw through the skylight that night. They were the victim, and the real culprit? It does seem as though we've all been making a false assumption. The witnesses aren't looking at Mr. McGilded at all. Meaning he has to have been sitting somewhere else. What?
Yes, Lieutenant Castle.
Wait! This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial. Okay, I think I have an idea. On that night, on the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat on the omnibus cabin that was obscured from the view was McGilded. Because the witnesses, as we just saw, the witnesses said they were looking at the victim, but they didn't see Mr. McGilded, so... Here!
Take that!
Ooh, now we got it. The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus McGilded.
McGilded? What are you talking about, Counsel? That's the name of the defendant!
Objection!
What the? You just frickin' threw that wine in a lamp over there? If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hallowed chalice, do forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Garnetzx!
People talk of those tiny nations of the Far East as having a learning and culture of their own. But I say they use the terms ill-advisedly.
Okay, the only reason I said McGilded is because, let's say, for example, like, I did say that there was a person, they were all looking on the victim, Mason. But maybe they saw somebody, they all saw, some of them saw, I can't remember who it was, that someone was sitting next to the victim. What are you trying to say?
Let me explain in terms that even a student of artless backwater such as yourself might understand.
Alright, it's court you.
When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to that fact. It's the very premise on which this case is built.
Yes, but now we're coming to a point where Magnus McGilded was sitting opposite. So the witnesses were looking, didn't even know that whoever was supposed to be sitting next to the victim was the actual assailant.
Objection!
But that verse may be wrong.
What?
If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way.
What inconsistency, Counsel?
The defendant's gloves, my lord. Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claimed that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection!
And we know the truth is to be otherwise. Only one glove bearer the glory remains.
Objection!
The point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance.
Yes, the testimony remains unchanged.
We're really gonna shut it down. Exactly. They both adamantly swear that they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of the events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth. They didn't say who the assailant was. We all just assumed that the assailant was McGilded. There's somebody else sitting beside the victim that night. A third party I have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on the passenger's hand! Both of them!
Objection!
And who was this third party? I don't know who the third party is. I don't know who the third party is. I made one mistake! Obviously, the true culprit.
Extraordinary!
Should I stop it right here?
Order, what exactly are you postulating?
Objection!
The defense's postulation is just that. Nothing more than conjecture. The witnesses have clearly stated that they saw the accused.
Objection!
They didn't say the accused was McGilded. But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairyplace said the two of them were wearing hats, and they couldn't exactly make out their faces.
Yes. The tops of their heads were obscured by the roof. I couldn't see them, though.
Yes, that's right. Both gents were most certainly hatted. Hatters do tend to notice such things, sir.
What in particular size are these two gentlemen sport, Mr. First?
I'm afraid I don't remember. And you call yourself a hatter?
The style of hat makes no difference. There was no third passenger in that cabin.
How can you be sure?
Because if there had been, the accused Miss McGilded would undoubtedly have offered to dispose the fact.
Unless, that is, you are proposing an even more preposterous explanation. That the accused failed even to notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which she traveled? Ah! If that's true, why didn't Mr. McGilded say anything? He's right. If there was another person traveling in the post cabin of the omnibus, it's inconceivable that Mr. McGilded would have been unaware of it.
Order! There's clearly a simple solution to this problem.
Bring the accused, Mr. McGilded, to the stand.
Well, what do you say, counsel?
The prosecution objects, my lord.
On what grounds?
As a suspect, he will have already made a full statement to the police.
But what if there's some reason why he's unable to speak freely?
Magnus McGilded is no uneducated ruffian. If it indeed turns out the man has been withholding information, you can be sure it would have been the most deliberate act.
Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion?
My lord,
Should we ask Mr. McGilded to testify or not? Yes! We are gonna ask him to testify. Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. The defense would like to call Mr. McGilded to the stand.
In that case, I'd like to hear the opinion of the jury.
yes. I need a little time to consider this.
If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilded has to say. Get the man out here, I say! Also, I got a clockwork orange look on me.
It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony. I have everything to record here. When something is doing, get it done. That's how I run things at the go.
Hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say, yes, that would be lovely.
Yes, the jury says the man must be heard.
Alright.
Very well, the court will hear the defense's testimony. Defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant the stand at once.
Now, maybe what actually happened that night.
finally become clear. And I think at this point, I finally take a break. And go straight to bed, because it is 10 to 10. Me, rounded off, 9 to 10. And I need to stop here, because I'm gotta get ready for work tomorrow. Because I gotta work another 7 hours. I got 4 days left till payday, and I gotta get everything together. I gotta pay off a bunch of bills. Alright! That's it! I gotta leave it here. I thank everybody for watching. I'm glad I was able to get this done. 2 live streams in one day, plus I was able to do a bit of a workout, shower, and start cooking and cleaning and everything. So in the meantime, I gotta go. I thank you all for joining. I thank anyone who ever joined in. I appreciate it very much. Thank you all, and I will see you all tomorrow for the afternoon live stream, because I have work tomorrow. Alright?